In a world where everyone's tweeting, snapping, and gramming, how do you make sure your voice isn't just noise? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on building a personal brand on social media. On behalf of NMI Miss University Student Council, I am your host, Suhani Jain, and I'm thrilled to have you all here today. In this digital age, establishing a strong personal brand on social media has become more than important, especially for college students like yourselves and me who are preparing to enter the professional world in the near future. So get ready to unlock the secrets of creating an impactful online presence that truly reflects who you are and what you stand for. To dive deeper into this topic, we have an extraordinary guest joining us today. Allow me to introduce Ms. Riya K. Hira. She is a social entrepreneur, impact consultant, and strategist dedicated to making social impact and sustainability accessible to all. Ria's journey is nothing short of inspiring. As a social impact consultant and strategist, educator, and social entrepreneur, she is dedicated to crafting a world that's equal and just for everyone. Let's hear firsthand from Ria about her remarkable work and vision for the future. Over to you, Ria.
Okay, thank you so much, Sohani, for such a warm welcome. I think it's a nice space to be in. And my introduction was a little hearing it just made me so much happy. And of course, everything I do, the work impact has always been the key area of that. And about my journey, it's hasn't been, I wouldn't say so much extraordinary, but it's just about making the kind of choices one make. And I was lucky enough to make such incredible choices that helped me land some of the incredible places. I graduated in the year 2022 from University of Delhi. I have my background economics and philosophy. And while I was in my undergrad years, COVID just hit us and we were all into the pandemic. And that is when I understood, okay, at certain points it's important for you to stand up for your society, stand up for the people around you. And that's how I ended up being in the sector. Never thought so. And even today, I don't have like 100% of the things figured out. But yes, the journey has been fair enough and it's been a good learning kind of a space. Today, I work as a chief programs officer with Project Statecraft. And I was lucky enough to offer the Teach for India Fellowship for the year 2022. Soon after, I ended up doing my Global Changemaker Fellowship with Connecting Dreams Foundation. Currently, I'm pursuing my fellowship with the Youth Collab. But yeah, it has been a kind of a fulfilling journey until now. And today, that I've been able to, learn many things. Anything that I post, anything that I write on social media is just about having those kind of conversations people to the people, making them smile so that, whenever they are in a kind of a situation that they feel stuck about, if whatever I write can just make them feel smile or make them feel good about this world, it's just that, and that is all that I stand for. But anyway, thank you so much for having me here, and I think it's a great room. Just feeling that kind of a good vibe here too.
Thank you so much, Ria. We are very glad to have you on board with us today. So, to kick things off, could you share with the audience why building a personal brand on social media is so important, especially for college students in this digital age?
Okay. So if I ask anybody of you that is it fair that just one or a couple of pages of your resume tells something about you or anything about you to your potential employer or the potential organization that you would work with, you would say a no to me, obviously. So, our two-pager resume or even a one-pager resume cannot tell anybody about who you are, what brings you here, what drives you here. And I think that in the first place was my reason to come out on social media, one. And I think that should be the reason for everybody also. Because when you apply for any position into any sphere, and I'm not talking about social impact here, let's be very frank, not all of us want to work in social impact. Many of you want to be some business professionals, policy professionals, business professionals, or whatever. But having that presence just tells a lot about you. So even today, if I have to apply for a job, I even if I apply for a fellowship, my resume does go there. But in the starting, there is just LinkedIn profile ka link, and I know that people are gonna click to it. So if you want to tell the world more about you, if you want to tell the world why and what brings you here, like as a person, I think that is all that personal brand stands for. Today, when we go on any platform, it's been personal brand has also been commercialized in a sense that, okay, if you want to run a business, you should do that. If you want to make your own independent something to do that. But the truth is not so much about commercialization. It's just about in this so much online world of, where we have so much content creators doing things for different kind of purposes. If anybody can come out and tell them and tell the world about themselves, I'm sure that there are 100 other people waiting for you to say that thing, because then they're going to connect with you, feel like, okay, I'm not alone in this journey. I think that was something that has happened to me as well. Until I made that first move, I always thought that this is just me who is facing so many of problems, or maybe just me who is so much confused. And when I just came out and told people, "Ki, okay, this is happening with me, this happened with me," there were like 100 different people who were getting to that same journey.
Hmm.
So in the first place, for anybody to have a personal brand, it's just as simple as no two-pager can tell a person about you, and no, I would say a kind of a brief, a couple of minute introduction can tell a lot about you. So social media is kind of a platform where you get to be yourself. I know it can be intimidating at times. I know that people might think, okay, social media is a source of anxiety. How can it be a source of me being myself? But the truth is, it is. If you're in the right place and if you get to connect with the right people, I think eventually everybody does.
That's fantastic, Riya. That is definitely great advice for us to, get that push to go out there. Now, many students might also be unsure about where to begin. Could you maybe provide some practical tips or strategies for students to start building their personal brand on social media? How do they go about it?
Okay, so if you go on any platform right now, there is a lot of advices and it does feel overwhelming at times. But my one advice, like the topmost advice I tell to people, I would love to tell to people is just be authentic. I know it would be like 100 different things that you might feel at the moment, but the truth is just be authentic. How do you be authentic? Say, for example, you choose any platform for yourself. Go out there, tell about your experiences, tell about what are you writing right now, what are you reading right now, what was your first networking session, what was your first salary or stipend. So, your first, what were the things that you were not able to make it to? Just be authentic. I know that most of the college students, and even when I was in college, I was always thinking, ki, okay, yaar, I'm just in a college, what I'm gonna tell the world, I'm no expert. I'm still no expert, honestly. But everybody has their life stories to tell. And I think personal brand is not about promoting yourself. It's just about whatever you feel or whatever experiences that you're going through is telling to that people. And eventually everybody of us in our lives have a kind of a purpose. So, personal brand, more than about promoting yourself, it's rather about being authentic yourself, finding your purpose. I was not so much sure about what I want to say, why I want to say, what I want to do. But because I get into that process, I got a chance to explore myself as well. So if you have to ask me, just be authentic. Everybody has stories around you. You just have to, kind of observe a little more, talk a little more, like I think every college student does. And honestly, for a college student, it is much easier in a sense that if you go out on social media, say for example, take the example of LinkedIn. If you post a thing about your college fest or your college event or whatever, there's already a community that can support you there, which is your uh, the club community, the friends community,
Right.
they can comment on it, they can interact on it. And if there's like 20 people and every 20 person is posting different things from that event, and then other 20 people is liking that and everything is happening, already there's an interaction. And in the initial phase, it just feel like, okay, people are getting thousands of likes. How I'm gonna do it? The truth is, likes doesn't matter. Even today, there are times when I don't make it to like even 50 of it, but it's fine because it's just that even if it matters to one person there, you will be satisfied at the end of the day. So parameters doesn't matter so much because at the end of the day, even your potential employers, the potential people that might you want to work with, the potential universities, they're not going to see at the number of likes, so they're not going to see at the number of impressions. They're just gonna see about how authentic, what were you writing, why were you writing, was it in a good format, were you being incredible, were you being empathetic to the people,
Mm.
and all that is what matters. Honestly, if people are interacting and you already have that community, so if you encourage each other and then you go on social media and post about it, say for example, if you post about your Bali trip on Instagram, you people interact, right? Wow, the scenic beauty and all of those stuff. So why not talking about your stories? So just about talking about your stories and people can encourage each other. So, you are the young people of tomorrow. I am the young people of tomorrow. So if social media has to be a safe space, I have to do it in a way. This is one of those ways.
Yeah, definitely, Riya. I think this motivates me to write that post that I've been procrastinating for a long time.
For sure.
Let's talk about content now. What type of content do you recommend students to create to effectively showcase their personal brand? And how can they ensure consistency across different platforms?
Okay, so the last question, which is about content. Okay, so the generic advice that I can give you is, just bucket up your content in different forms. Say, for example, you can talk about one, your personal experiences, two, about whatever relevant field you want to work in, or whatever relevant field you might are kind of studying in, and third, you can talk about what is the current affairs into that field, right? So, for example, there's new government initiative coming out of it. A new company has just secured some form of funding, or so on and so forth. So that's the three basic thing that's good about it. But honestly, if you see these three things from the outside, it might seem to you, ki, okay, this is so much, so less for me. And honestly, I'm studying a degree, but I'm not really sure of which part of degree I totally like about it, right? And so when I talk about a personal experience, or when I talk about personal experiences, it's not about personal experiences. It's 100 different things. Say, for example, there are stories everywhere. Okay. So if I have to give you some random things about, say, for example, when you were in your 10th standard and the next day you were supposed to, kind of choose your streams, and you were in a kind of, okay, what do I do? How do I do it? That kind of a situation was a story in itself. You might have your bit of personal experience from it. The day you made into the college, maybe the day you made into a kind of a position, a relevant position in your society. That's the story for another time. So, stories happen every now and then. So that is all that personal experiences stands for. And personal experiences, more than stories, is also about your personal beliefs. Say, for example, as a person, the last movie you watched might have given you a lesson. Not every movie is gonna give you a lesson, but yes, there will be like, then say, for example, randomly reading a book and you found something incredible that you might want to write on. That is another story. Yesterday, you went to some place with your friend and you had a good conversation and you just loved, listening to that person's story. That is another story for you. The first day that you made into your college and you knew nobody, now today you have a tribe of yourself. So, how do you feel about it? That's another story. So stories are everywhere. What you have to post, I think on the day one is always gonna overwhelm you. Same was the case with me on day one. I posted something, मैंने उसको 1 घंटा रखा, and then I thought nobody is liking it, मैंने delete कर दिया. It is gonna happen. First day is the worst day. But the point is, that is how you learn the journey, right? First day, maybe only three or four people is gonna like that. But when you just what do I say? When you just, kind of don't think about how many people are going to like it, how many impressions I'm going to get, how many people are going to comment on it, your whole journey transforms. Think about that you are making your digital diary in which you just want to have your experiences written. So, say 5 years down the line or 2 years down the line, when you see your social media ka timeline, you will see ki, okay, this was the experience I wrote about it. And when you consistently go out there, people are going to look at you. Don't worry about so much. Just be a little particular about grammatical errors. And the gist of how to put out your content is that the first line is the gist of everything. So, say for example, it's like, okay, if I tell you that there is a movie and the movie's title is completely different from what is in the movie, you're not gonna watch that movie. Similarly, your post ka first line is like the title of everything. So just try to make it a little, uh, something like, अगर मैं होती तो would love to open it or not. If that is the only parameter. If you would open it, other people of your age is gonna open it. So that first line का थोड़ा सा रहता है. That is all that matters. And in the end, because you want people to engage with you, You can just mention a simple as CTA. Now people complicate CTA for so much. Say for example, I'm writing about the last. Say for example, there's this X kind of a firm that that secured a certain amount of funding. So in the CD, you can just add, what do you think about this new startup coming up? What do you like about it? Or have you ever used these services or products of this particular startup? That is all that you do it. The second thing about consistency, okay. So in the end, being consistent is tough. Because what will happen is first day, second day, third day, you're gonna fail, and then fourth day you think, okay, I'm failing, so why should I try? Just chodo. Nobody's asking me to do that, right? But the point is, okay, first day, second day, third day. Maybe for the first week you can't post every day. Nobody can, even I can't. Abhi bhi I can't. You just post once a week. You post twice a week, thrice a week. जितना चल रहा है चलने दो. It's fine. Don't ever look at the parameter of being perfect. कि, okay, my friend is posting 5 times a week. They have a 4,000 ka following, so I have to do it. No, because they are like on 10th page of their journey, while you're just on one. So start by maybe having one or two posts per week. It's fine, and just try to do it. Similarly, say for example, just make a schedule that every time when I maybe every Saturday or Sunday, I will spend some time reading a book or hearing a couple of podcasts, and then on the Sunday night, I'm gonna write a couple of posts. It works well, right? And in the week, what you can do is when it comes to what kind of the content do you want to put out, what you can do is say, for example, every day have every week you have so much of experiences. So any significant experience that you have it, go to the notes of your phone and just write that. Say, for your example, today I met my new professor and I loved the interaction with her. इतना लिख के छोड़ दो. On the weekend, come back to that prompt and see उस दिन क्या हुआ था, what made it important, what made it significant in your life, and write a post about it. It's just as simple as that. Basically, it's just about whatever you do, whatever you consume, whatever you see, whatever you want to do, or whatever you've done in the past. All of this mixture is what you talk about social media. And that is your personal brand. Your personal brand is nothing fancy, not being you, try to be something else. It's not like that. It's just you. It's just that the first step of the process is tough. And once you cross that first step of phase, it will become easier day by day.
All right. Thank you so much, Riya. That was excellent advice for all of us. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Managing social media can sometimes feel overwhelming, as you also mentioned a couple of times, especially for busy students. Do you have any tips for effectively managing time and maintaining a healthy balance between personal and professional content out there?
Okay, so consistency, number one, is definitely the elephant in the room. Number two, social media can be overwhelming, and social media is overwhelming when you overconsume it. So I think the gist of my answer would just be the word balance. I know it's tough because in the age of Instagram, when you can have your reels going on for an hours and hours and hours, it's tough. But the truth is, you maybe a kind of a little bit of self-discipline is what we all need. And for the starters, what you can do is, say for example, if you start going on social media and it's 10 a.m., you make it the point to 10:15 have to close it. No matter how good the reel is, no matter how good this LinkedIn post is, no matter how this Snapchat thing is, or anything in the world is, I'm gonna close it. So just 15 minutes. No, no, no time beyond that. And initially, that has happened with me too, because when I wanted to create content, because I wanted to take inspiration from the people, I used to spend like 30, 40 minutes continuously on LinkedIn just reading other people, supposed to find that kind of inspiration. And in the end, I just got myself in that kind of a phase where just read, read, read. And in that, I had nothing to do because I was just tired. Ki, okay, please, minute ho gaya. No, I can't do it. And then leave it. So having that kind of the self-discipline, whenever you start doing it, just say, कि, okay, next 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'm gonna close it. हुआ मिला inspiration, it's fine. नहीं मिला, it's fine. I'm gonna close it. And I'm sure there's inspiration all around yourself. So that is number one. Number two, I think having regular social media breaks is necessary. Because, say, for example, when you start creating content, after a point of time, it does take a toll over you in a way कि okay, you're barber, checking just your phone कि कितने like हुए, कितने comment हुआ, Anybody saw it? Why is it not working? मेरी friend के post पे था 100 likes, so why am I just 20 or 15? Around those times, make it a point that you post certain thing. 15-20 minutes you spend on that platform to engage with other people posts, and then you leave it. And the next time you check it is in your lunch break, not before that. And sometimes if it becomes, if you feel like ये बहुत tough, I can't do it, you just delete the app from your phone. This is something that I personally do at times when I'm so much kind of in a way कि, okay, I'm so giving so much of attention to how many number of likes or anything that I've got on social media. What I do is just delete that particular app and I will reinstall it. Reinstall करने में तो 1 second लगता है. It's like 1 minute thing. Okay, I'll reinstall it, but for that particular one, I'm just doing it. So there are days on which, your other self is more active, the social media end of you, the possessive, or just why not? क्यों नहीं हो रहा वाला end of you is more active. On those days, whatever you can do is just delete the app. Because if you delete the app, it's kind of an out of sight, out of mind situation. जब you won't see it, so you won't open it. As simple as that. And then you open it, you feel like, अच्छा okay इतना है, okay it's fine. ठीक है, कल we'll try something new will happen, it's fine. So I think when it comes to social media, in times of consumption, you will have to limit yourself in a way. Maybe just 10 minutes. 10 minutes 3 times a day is fine. 10 minutes 2 times a day is fine. So उसमें क्या होगा? You have different content coming across because morning में content is different, evening में is different, and night is different. Right? So you are
Hmm.
gonna have a variety for yourself, and at the same time, there's a sense of self-discipline as well. Social media is kind of a place where every day is a new day. तो कल मे बी मेरे पोस्ट को 100 likes मिले, आज मेरे पोस्ट को 2 like भी नहीं मिलेगी अगर मैं रेलिवेंट नहीं हूँ. दिस इज गोना हैपन विद एवरी टाइम. सो even today when I write even like 3 or 4 times a week, it's like one of those posts get a good reach, three are like 20, 10. Even like recently, like day before yesterday, I wrote something, this has got 10 likes. So every day is a new day, every day there's a chance you're going to fail it, you're going to make it. So it's not like कि कल expert थे, कल you did the well, तो कल भी you're doing well. So never, 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 get too attached with good number of likes or maybe too attached with the failure as well. Don't take it personally. Have your worth, your your kind of your spirit completely different from what you do on social media. Just like 0.1% of your life. It's not gonna define you. It's not gonna define the kind of the person you are, and not gonna define your success too.
Wonderful suggestions these were. And lastly, we would like to talk about the engagement. How can students effectively engage with their audience on social media to build a strong community around their personal brand? Any strategies that you'd like to share that you have personally used or implemented building your brand on social media?
Okay, so when it comes to engagement, one thing is like, okay, you mentioned kind of a CTA in end of your post. Like any CTA is basically call to action. So anything that can, what do I say, that can start some interactions, some conversations in the comments. That's one, you can do it. Secondly, see, social media is not a place where you just post and you ghost. So post and ghost doesn't work there. Say, for example, you have, I'm talking about LinkedIn here. Say, for example, you have 500 connections. Ask yourself, into this 500 connections, how many people do you know? I think the maximum number would be 20, 30, and that to the people in your college. उसके अलावा would be the persons that you know, or just you like the profile, you connected to that person, or that particular person was working in your dream company, in your dream college, or whatever. Right. So what is the point of having 500 people in your network when you even don't know like 10% of them, which is 50, right? I know it, you might say कि okay अब हर follower को थोड़ी ना जान सकता हूँ. I can't do it. I know you can't do it. But you know that you have 500 people, and into that 500 people, there are going to be at least 5, 10, 15, 20 people that you think that you're going to learn something from them. Or there is a vice versa relationship as well. They follows me. There's definitely going to be somebody who is seeing your journey, who is inspired by you, and who is willing to learn something from you. And that is what engagement comes in. So engagement is definitely not that happens in the comment section. Engagement is beyond that. So say for example, you have 500 people in your network. Go and see which out of these 500 people, who are the people that can help me learn something. In a way, maybe there are like a couple of people who work in your dream company, and you might want to learn about how is it working in that particular company, or maybe there's a couple of people who, kind of doing an internship recruitment, and you might want to work there. Then there's a couple of people who have went abroad for different degree, and in the future you want to go there. Or there are a couple of people who are working, and you just love whatever work they are doing, and you want to learn from them. Just message them, and that is where the engagement comes in. So engagement, it's not comments. That is not engagement. Engagement is rather the conversations that you have with people. So say for example, today's Monday and this is 1 week. In 1 week, if not more, you just shortlist like 5 people, 3 people, 2 people. I would say just 1 people be shortlist kiya. Send them a message. Ki, hi, I am this. I'm currently pursuing my degree from this particular college. I really loved your work, and I would love to meet over a virtual coffee chat or something and learn about your work, because it will help me, one, to understand what I can do in the future, this and that. And then it will also give you a perspective about how is current college education happening and whatever you feel like. Okay. So send them a message. What worst can happen, that they're not gonna reply. Okay, reply nahi karenge, but the point is nobody knows that you've reached out to them, right? Your messages, your chats is completely confidential to yourself. So even if you send it to 5 people, out of 5 people, five ne se reply nahi kiya, it's fine. But at least you tried. And honestly, what I can tell from my experience is that if you message 5 or 10 people, there is surely a couple of people, or at least one person is going to reply back to you, and then you can connect over them virtually, because now there's a Gmeet and Zoom age. You can have a conversation with them, and you don't know that you might get to learn something new. And if not new, that person is going to know you personally. And the next time you post, there is a high chance that particular person engages with your post. So you made a relationship. People, आज की डेट में, when networking comes around, it's kind of given a sense of give and take kind of a relationship, but it's not so much. It's just about making those relationships, making those connections. Because say for example, there is a 90% probability that the person that is in your network is somebody who is from your same industry, which means that particular person has definitely something to offer you. Not offer you in terms of any internship or job opportunity or anything, but सीखने को तो कुछ ना कुछ मिल ही जाएगा, right? So what you have to do is just send that message, and that is your engagement. So just reaching out to people about anything and everything works well. Even if you feel it doesn't matter, nobody get to know it. यार मत बताओ अपने friends का reach out to 10 people. ये बताओ कि 2 people have agreed to me for a conversation, and that is all reached out. I'm so good at networking, and that is how networking starts. Initially you feel like okay, nahi karega reply, but the point is 3 to 4 years down the line, that person was in the same situation as you today. So there is a probability they're gonna reach out to you. So for example, you can randomly reach out to your college seniors on the who have just made it to, say for example, somebody from the batch of 2021, 2022 is currently working in some MNC kind of a situation right now, and you can reach out. Okay, we are from the same college. I would love to how you made it from our college to that particular field. They're gonna reply you. So that is how you make your network, and that is how engagement happens. And second thing, I think that everybody tells you, and I think it's very common, is when you post, you should comment on other people's post. And I wouldn't say कि okay, दिन में 10 comment करना है. No. Whatever post interest you, whatever post you feel like genuinely you can, add value to, you love it, just post it. Just post a comment, whatever you like. There's no limit दिन में 10 comment करना है तभी networking होगा या तभी engagement होगा. No, it's not like that. It's about being authentic. So when you post, you have to be authentic, and equally when you do a comment and when you like something, you have to be authentic. Because, say, for example, you comment on 3 posts or you like a couple of posts, all of those things your connections can see. Ki Riya liked this post, Riya comment on this post. So basically, it's a indirect way of people knowing ki okay, this is all that she's interested into. Right. So that is also a kind of indirect expression of your identity out there. So just be authentic. किसी किसी दिन कोई पोस्ट पसंद है मत करो किसी पे comment. Nobody tells you that. But do whenever you like. Because once you do it, that person is going to reply to you, and you're going to make an impression that okay, this particular person constantly likes my post. So maybe we can have a conversation later. There are instances when I've seen people who have liked my post 1 month back and they still continue to do that. So whenever I post, I know that this particular person is gonna like it. And it just makes me feel so good that okay, this particular person likes my every post. And then whichever post they resonate strongly, they comment also. So if I have to ask about how and what I'm posting is relevant, is good, is helping you, I can message that person na, for a review. Ki, how do you think about my account? Do you think I'm doing some good work? So that is how engagement comes on. Engagement is not engagement, is just about building those relationships. Be authentic, there's no number to it. Whatever you like, do it. And yeah, I think that is all that matters.
Right. Thank you so much, Riya, for sharing all of those great points and for your expertise and valuable insights with us today. I am sure that our audience has gained a wealth of knowledge on how to build a personal brand on social media and will definitely try to implement those. I myself would love to implement those in the near future. Before we end with today's enlightening session, is there something more that you'd like to tell our audience?
Okay, so I think nice kind, not a summary, but a call out would be nicer that, social media is overwhelming. Social media is intimidating. Social media might sound so much bad from outside, but honestly, Instagram, LinkedIn, or any other, say for example, YouTube or Pinterest or any social media platform, वो नहीं बनता if people wouldn't have created content on it. And when I say content creation, today it's a full-time job for many people. I know it's not that kind of a situation for me. I know it is not that kind of a situation for you. But if you have a life, which means you have a story. If you're doing something, which means you have a story. If you have friends, people near you, that means you have a story. So if you have something, and I know everybody has that, go out and just share that. I know that in this beginning, you're gonna everybody fails. I failed starting my team like char like पांच like I still delete my post. नहीं पसंद आती, nobody likes it. I just delete it off because I feel like okay, this doesn't look good. People लोग क्या सोचेंगे? That happens with all of us. For me too. For even the person who is with 50K, 100K followers, it happens with everybody because we are humans, right? So if you have that kind of thing of going beyond that two-pager resume of yours, which everybody of us want, because resumes are too outdated. Social media is a way to go about it. I think that is the best, I would say, the best reward I can offer you at the moment, because trust me, when you go for any interview, if there is a link on your profile, if there's a link on your CV, people are going to open that first and then gonna read through your resume because they know कि वो ज़्यादा बताएगा and this 4 5 points is not gonna tell you because honestly it can't tell you as well. If I have to give you my resume and tell and ask you कि how what kind of a person I am, so you would say कि she graduated from this place, she did this kind of a work, and she have this skill. That's all. But if there's a link, there's a story to my life, and there's a story to everybody' life. So social media is that way of doing it. I know personal brand has been commercialized a lot lately. People judge many people for doing that, but trust me, the person who is posting on social media right now is not gonna judge you because maybe a couple of months back or 3 months back, they were in the same position. They're not gonna judge you. The people that's gonna judge you is the people who have never tried. So those who have never tried, they don't know how this kind of the water tastes, right? So their judgment doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if you're a human, you have a story to tell. Go out and post it. What worst is gonna happen is that like नहीं मिलेगा, नहीं पसंद आया, 1 घंटे बाद delete कर देना. I do it every other time. So it's just about that. Personal branding, क्या करना है, क्यों करना है, if I'm gonna land a job, land this, land that. No, it's just about putting yourself out there. And I can tell you that it works. It works in the places you don't know. Opportunities do come to you because लोगों को पता है that you care about this certain thing, you want to work in this field. And when you see a person every day, say for example, if there's a random person in a neighborhood that you see every day, you're going to have that indirect relationship being already made with them, right? So that is how the relationship on social media works. When there's a person coming out every other day or coming out once or twice in a week, you are going to have that kind of a relationship. The same way you have with the content creators of today's time, right? You haven't met them in real life, but you still feel a kind of a connect with them. So if you want to be that kind of a personality that people feel something for you, you feel something for them, you can help at least just one life, और एक पोस्ट में अगर एक बंदे ने भी resonate किया, it makes your day happy, one comment makes your day happy, it's worth risk taking. Because anyway, at the end of the day, it works so much better than a resume. And I think at the end of the day, that is a very big reward for all of us. And yeah, thank you so much for having me over. I really love the room. I really love talking about so much, so many things. And yeah, thank you so much for, kind of hearing so much. I know at times I was in a monologue kind of a situation where I was going continuously, continuously, continuously. But yeah, thank you so
Not
much
at
for
all.
bearing with that as well.
Not at all, Riya. It was very pleasant to listen to you, to listen to all your great stories, and to start with our own. Thank you so much for being with us today and motivating us and pushing us to go the extra mile. And on that note, to all our viewers, remember your personal brand is your unique story, as Ria mentioned. So own it, cultivate it, and let it shine on social media. Thank you so much for
For
joining
sure.
in.
Thank you so much.